Who are these people?
Tell you something, brother!
Who are these people?
Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
Don't be rude.
Who are these people?
Welcome. What is it? Episode
27.
Yes. Pro Wrestling Talk. I am Andrew Rivera alongside Miss Witchy Perfect, who is hacking up a storm. But seriously, thank you very much for being with us today and tonight. And other than that, how are you doing?
Good. I've been working pretty hard with my other job, but I'm here and ready to talk about wrestling. Let's talk about it. I've been itching.
Yeah, because we Alex Knight, who was with me yesterday, will be joining us in the second hour at 9 Eastern. So
We love you, Alex.
look forward to that. But for now, because he's not really into modern wrestling, so which is why he's like, I'll join you at 9. He's like, okay, that's fine, whatever. But yeah. So let's get started here. And I've been right. In fact, right this second is AEW pay-per-view All Out, which we did not preview last week because I didn't know.
That's okay. I didn't know either.
So 2 weeks after All In, it's All Out.
All in and all out. Well,
literally 2 weeks. I'm like, really? It's a pay-per-view tonight?
Well, you gotta be all in and then you have to be all out, I guess. Mm-hmm. Isn't it kind of like a man to be all in and then all out? But
yeah, it's like pay-per, like really a pay-per-view is tonight. So yeah, we didn't preview
you know
it.
What I'm talking about.
Okay. Yeah, we didn't preview it, and
you want to preview
it? No, I mean, okay. I mean, we could go through it real quick. Oh, Indy fixed the logo. Yeah, I noticed there was a like a box surrounding it, so that's why I'm kind of like, oh, okay. I mean, that's fine, but whatever. But he fixed it, so it's okay. But yeah, we could, I think, preview it right now, but I'm just gonna go through it real quick, and then we'll move on to the other things. AEW All Out. No, not London.
No, that was All In.
Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago. It's different. So let's see. Really, there were 4 pre-show matches.
Who knew?
It's 4. Hey, how they're so ridiculously long, these pay-per-views. I mean, it's like 4 hours, even for
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, at
secondary
least
pay-per-views.
WWE has it like, and I was listening to Jim Cornette earlier, and he was saying how it's kind of like football. You know how they have the pre-show, then they have the show, then they have a post-show, right? So this is just goes back to what I was saying, that the NFL is like the WWE and the WWE is like the NFL. And then you have AEW, the bastard child of wrestling.
So
and they have like something and then something and then crap, which is all crap.
the pre-show was on YouTube and
I thought they lost his contracts. I guess
and
not.
all over social media, and they had Renee Paquette. It was John Moxley's wife. They had Jeff Jarrett on the pre-show and somebody else, some jabroni. I don't know who he is, but they were basically like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be such a great card." I'm looking at this card, it's like it's a joke. But yeah, there's 4 pre-show matches. Nobody really cares, except that Hologram, some wrestler named Hologram that Tony Khan is really pushing. He's in the pre-show, but who cares?
Is he hologram?
Yeah, like
they
hologram.
Actually have a hologram of him.
I don't know. I mean, he's just one of these wrestlers who like to flip around for no reason. Like most AEW audience, they like. But yeah, Dustin Rhodes is in the pre-show again, so who cares? The undisputed, who gives a shit? All right, so those matches already happened. So Daniel Garcia versus MJF is on the pay-per-view. Little old Danny Garcia, the tiny guy. He looks like an NPC, like he just. And he has that stupid dance too. I'm sure you've seen it.
So they pushed MJF. Excuse me. They pushed him back down the card, huh?
Yeah. Now he's working to try to get over Daniel Garcia. Well, I mean that's what he asked for. I mean he signed a 5-year deal with AEW for a shit ton of money. So
there you go.
It's what he asked for. He
got what's good for the goose is good for the gander. There.
Daniel Garcia apparently he signed an extension with AEW. Got a shit ton of money too.
Get out.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Swerve Strickland signed for a shit ton of money too.
Money talks and bullshit walks, guys.
None of these people draw, but somehow
wrestling.
None of these people draw, but somehow they get multi-million-dollar salaries from Tony Khan. So it's like,
I mean, look at Mercedes Moan.
Oh God!
I'm sorry, that's what Cornette calls her.
Yeah, Monet. She's the worst of all of them.
Oh my God!
All right.
She's like, I'm like, yeah. No wonder nobody watches this stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, Danny Garcia is probably going to win because they're pushing him, or MJF's going to win. This feud's going to continue long term. I mean, I don't know. The next match in the Willow Nightingale versus Chris Statlander in a Chicago street fight.
Great.
So yeah, they're in Chicago, so of course you have to have a Chicago street fight.
I was gonna say if they're anywhere else, this would not work unless one of them is from Chicago.
Yeah. Who cares? I don't care enough to predict. The Young Bucks versus the Blackpool Combat Club for the tag team title. So it's Claudio Castagnoli.
Angel, you know who's gonna win? It's gonna be the Young Bucks. They're
gonna win.
They're the guy. The new hits.
The Young Bucks versus Blackpool Combat Club, which is Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta.
Why are you a racist?
What?
No, the Young Bucks are gonna win because they always win. They're EVPs. What do you say? What do you think?
Yeah, they're not gonna drop these belts to Castagnoli and Yuta. All right, so the next match is a 4-way match for the AEW Continental Championship. You have Okada versus Briscoe versus Orange Cassidy versus Take a Shit.
Briscoe, as in the other Briscoe. Yeah, Mark Briscoe.
Yeah, he's the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion, but he has to contend for a shitty belt that nobody cares about.
Why are they not? Well, I know why they're not using him. For some reason, because Jay's gone now. They've put him in the crappiest matches they can possibly find. I mean, no offense, but I mean,
I'm no fan of Mark. And Mark looks like a meth head, so I can't even take him seriously. I know Jim Cornette loves him, but he looks like a meth head. Like, and he's your world heavyweight champion over Ring of Honor. So it's like, I know Ring of Honor is basically a husk, it's a joke, but
yeah,
but still, I mean, he's your world heavyweight champion. So I assume Okada or Okada is going to retain this belt because, you know, he's a part of the ripoff NWO that they're doing there. So.
Oh, Cody.
All right, the next match we have Mercedes Moné versus Hikaru Shida, and Camille Mercedes Moné Muscle is banned from ringside.
I can't believe that Monet has muscle. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, it kind of reminds me of like how China came in first.
Yeah, it's exactly how she came in with Triple H.
Exactly, with Triple H. She was just the muscle, the bodyguard, you know.
She's the bodyguard of the DX, yeah.
Yeah.
But that was better than what Camille is doing with Mercedes. He stuck with her. Mercedes going to retain this belt, especially if she has creative control in her contract.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, she's Hogan, you know. She's like the modern day Hogan. Like, there's no way that she's dropping this belt right now.
What a horrible thought.
Yeah, at least Hogan drew money. That's the difference. Even WCW, at least he drew money. Unlike Mercedes, who isn't drawing a dime for AEW.
No, that's true.
Yeah. So that's why when Bischoff gave Hogan creative control, it was like, I get it, but at the same time, it's like, you know, Hogan's he doesn't care about WCW. He just cares about getting himself over.
and this.
Yeah, and money. Yeah, that's
that's all Hogan cared about. He didn't care about the wrestling business. All he cared about was money.
Yep. So Mercedes, you hear she's coming out with a pop album. She's gonna do music now. She's doing music.
Look. I know, Mercedes, you're jealous of the West Texas Rednecks. You're jealous that the West Texas Rednecks were getting over with their country crowd. But no, just no. Okay? The West Texas Rednecks actually made something of themselves because they were over. Both Conan and Kurt Hennig were over. Not this, I'm going to do a pop because I'm Mercedes Moné. Nobody likes you, honey. No, you're not over. You haven't paid your dues in the wrestling business like Kurt Hennig did.
Vince McMahon somehow used Jedi mind tricks to make the WWE crowd believe that Mercedes Moné was a superstar.
You will believe her. She is a star. What?
and most of the fans want it. I mean, let's see. The next match on the card is Will Ospreay defending against Pac for the International Championship.
I mean, why is Ostrich fighting somebody else now? I guess they pushed him down the card now too.
Yeah, the MJF feud is over. I mean, he already beat him, you know, so they're both moved on. But Ospreay's going to retain this belt because he just won it. He's not going to drop it to Pac now after he just won this belt in a big match in Wembley. So
unless Tony Khan has another angle he wants to pursue.
Maybe. I mean, again, he's so chaotic in his booking, and we'll get to that in a second. But with the Hangnail Page and Swerve Strickland feud, but yeah, Will Ospreay's retaining this belt. All right, the next match we have was the World Heavyweight Championship. Heavyweight, by the way, I'm going to put that in quotations. Bryan Danielson defending against Jungle Jackoff, Jack Perry.
Oh, geez, come on.
That's why I put heavyweight in quotes because
that dude lost to CM Punk in a real fight.
Yeah, and somehow I would not be surprised in the least bit if Jungle Jackoff gets his world title because they're in Chicago and they got to stick it to CM Punk somehow. So.
Right.
Because both Tony Khan and Jack Perry are obsessed with with CM Punk. So,
it's just jealousy. It's just petty jealousy, and it makes no sense whatsoever. Like,
because
you can't even understand. I'm sorry, you can't even understand the fact that CM Punk literally is in another company now and killing it with. I mean, he's bringing the house down. They're selling out. I mean, here we have another match for Bad Blood with because are we going to go over this? I guess that where he breaks the break.
Have to.
Okay.
Punk,
then I'll rewind. Pretend I never said that. But he's doing great storylines with Drew McIntyre, and I mean, it's great. I mean, I love it. I'm actually watching and I never thought I would say this in my lifetime, that I'm actually watching the pay-per-views. I'm gonna
Yeah.
watch this coming Raw because there are rumors that Bret Hart's gonna be on it. So I was like, Dad, can you get Raw for me? He goes, yeah, why? I'm like, Bret Hart's gonna be on it.
Yeah, Bret Hart has been confirmed by WWE. He is going to be on
confirmed.
Raw. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Uh-huh.
Talk about not having
for
Vince.
Raw. Yeah. So yeah, he's gonna be
Bret
there.
Hart was a part of the action. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting.
And it's rumored that he's gonna have a segment with Gunther.
With Gunther, I know.
It's interesting to see what's happening there. Yeah, so if that does come to pass,
let's see what kind of a bad heel you are there, Mr. Gunther.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'm like all excited. And I don't even like Bret Hart.
Brian. I'm assuming Bryan Danielson's going to retain this belt, but I would not be shocked at all if Jack Perry walked away with his belt.
Yeah, because I mean, in all honesty, I think that, I mean, in our eyes, Jack Perry is, I mean, he's nothing. He's a little kid playing with adults. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't happen or compute here. But I mean, Jack Perry is their future guy. And they think a lot of him, even though he literally, I could go like this to him and he would never hit me. You know what I mean? No. I'm bigger than him. You're bigger than him. Yeah. And I'm a chick.
It's absurd. Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised if he walked out. If they told me, if I find out he walked out with the World Heavyweight title, especially if the Young Bucks and Okada get involved themselves here.
Well, yeah. And the fact that, I mean, Danielson just, he got color in front of his wife and his kids. What was the point of all that if Jack Perry's going to walk out with the belt? Was that just shit?
And Bryan Danielson is such a mark for himself. I wouldn't be surprised if it was his idea to put the belts on Perry because he wants to, go part-time and kind of go away now. So, all right, so the main event, which we'll get to this plenty, apparently it's the main event, Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana versus the Hangman Adam Page in a lights-out, unsanctioned steel cage match.
Lights out? That means no lights.
No, that's the old, lights out, you turn off the lights and turn them back on, and it's unsanctioned.
Okay. No, I never heard of this.
Apparently Ernie Ladd, when he was booking down in I think Tennessee or Louisiana, he would do this a lot.
Oh, okay.
Like Jim Cornette would talk about it. It's like that's what a lights out match supposed to be. It's unsanctioned, and he'd tell the fans, "Hey, look, the promotion is not responsible for whatever happens in this match. So they kill each other.
I'm getting it. Okay.
Then that's their fault. That's not on the promotion or not on the sports commission at the time. The commissions were involved.
It's kind of like what they did with Jackie in WCW when she was going after Disco Inferno. Yeah. And they wouldn't allow her to have a title. So, like, if she won and she beat Disco, she'd have the belt, right? She'd have the TV belt, I think he had.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, no, she can't have that belt. Why not? Because she's a woman? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that was... So it's a gimmick on top of gimmick on top of gimmick because the Lights Out match is basically an unsanctioned match. But they're calling it Lights Out, unsanctioned, and a steel cage match all at once. So it's gimmick on top of gimmick on top of gimmick.
This would be the part where Jim Cornette goes, "Suck my dick" match.
This is ridiculous. This is Swerve Strickland versus Hangnail Adam Page, and this feud, it could have been a CM Punk McIntyre type feud, but they completely fucked it up. If you go back to the beginning of this feud, which was last year or early this year, I mean, Adam Page swore up and down, "You'll never be World Heavyweight Champion as long as I'm had breath in my body."
Oh my god!
And right after that, he goes away for 5 months because he had personal issues or whatever. But I'm like, if he said that, why did he not cost him the belt when Swerve won it? I mean, CM Punk,
because it doesn't make sense, and Tony Khan doesn't want it to make sense.
CM Punk he said something similar to McIntyre, but at least he's followed up on it.
Yeah.
as long as I have breath in my body, you'll never be champion, or you'll never, whatever he said, something to that effect too. But the difference is he's actually followed up on it.
Yeah.
He screwed him out of the world title at least 3 to 4 times over the last few months. He screwed
And here
McIntyre.
we thought that the feud was over because he got the bracelet back, but we were wrong.
No, I mean that was like a brutality, the definition of brutality.
Yeah.
And he broke the bracelet, shoved it down his throat, and
oh yeah, I missed that part, but I was like, wait, he shoved it down his throat? What? Ew.
Yeah, he broke it, and shoved it down his throat. So yeah, there's gonna be one more match for sure, probably at Bad Blood next month.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, then Hangnail goes away for 4 months, and Swerve is the babyface world champion. Then Swerve turns heel on Danielson to have one match with Danielson as a heel, and now they flipped him back babyface to continue this feud. How does any of this make sense? I don't know. I mean, these wrestlers are like bipolar.
Well, how is he a babyface when he sets a house that looked like a freaking set? I mean, you could tell that the one side was flat. It looked like it was flat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh god, this is so fake. But anyway, to finish my thought, how is he a babyface if he literally torches a house? A house. I mean, is that supposed to be what a babyface does? They go to your childhood house and they set it on fire? I'm confused.
Yeah, Swerve is the one that flipped babyface, and I assume, unless I'm confused by it, but Swerve, I assume, flipped babyface, while Adam Page is now the heel.
Yeah, Adam Page is now the heel. So he went heel, babyface, heel.
Yeah. They flipped heel, they flipped babyface. He went away for 4 months in the middle of this story that they were telling. Like, I can't get over that, how he just disappeared. How Adam Page just disappeared for 4 months.
I'm not surprised. It's Tony Khan. I mean, at this point, you should expect everything. If a guy's having personal problems, go take care of your personal problems. We'll worry about the wrestling business. Whereas Vince would go fuck yourself with your personal business. Get back to work. Get out there and wrestle. We got stories to tell. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's why it makes no sense. What the hell is that? I even tweeted out right after it happened, that fire scene, if I can find it.
I have it in our new Rumble theme song, guys. So check it on my Rumble. I'm gonna upload those as soon as we're done here. On Rumble only, I have an AI generated rock and roll song. Kind of sounds heavy metal though, but it's okay. I like it. And I put like several clips. And just the way the music sounded, that setting the house on fire just kind of fit with it. So I was like, okay, we'll put it in. We'll put it at the end.
Yeah, I mean, it was, I listened to it already. I liked it. So it was like, it's the 5th. Okay. I mean, I tweeted out giving I'm trying to find it, the opinion on the house burning thing. And I'm like, no. It's ridiculous. The story doesn't make any sense.
I replied to you. I'm like, why does that look fake? And you're like, because it is fake.
Most likely, it's.
Why does it look like a movie set? I think is what I said. Because it does look like a movie set. It literally looks like a flat, set where they just put like a cardboard flat house. The front looks like a house, but the back is all cardboard or whatever.
Why can't I find this thing? I know I tweeted it out yesterday, but now it's like, what's this? All right. Yeah, it's got to be here because I didn't delete it or anything. So yeah. So this story doesn't make any sense. Let's see. Bear with me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
The rest.
I know.
Ah,
Yeah,
I
because
think I
I even
found it.
said, "Why does it look like a movie set?" And you're like, "Because it does." Because it
Yeah,
is.
here it is. Yeah. All right. And I triggered these AEW fans, with this is why I wanted to share it, because I thought, so yeah, this is the initial one. Wasn't Swerve a heel just last week in his match against Danielson at All In? Now all of a sudden he's a babyface again in his match again All Out against Hangnail. These wrestlers are
Right.
bipolar, so but yeah,
And
it
that's a nice way
gets
of putting it.
now this individual claimed I can barely see it here. Hold on.
He is both, so he is
Yeah, so
Hangman.
this
Wait,
is
he's both, and so is Hangman. Okay, so
so
I'm
Swerve.
guessing he's talking about Swerve. Swerve is both
Yeah,
a heel and a babyface. Well, no, you can't
yeah.
have it both ways. You're either a heel or you're a babyface.
So he
Because if you're
argued to
both,
me. Yeah, he
what?
argued to me that Adam Page, they're both. That I said no such thing in wrestling, either hero or I meant heel or babyface, but it spell
Yeah,
check to hero. You can't flip back and forth like you change your underwear every day.
really. I mean,
This individual then said it's called tweener. It's not a new concept in wrestling.
tweener. What the heck is a tweener? What?
It's in between a heel or a babyface. So
No,
you go
there is no. You're both. You either a heel or you're a babyface.
tweener
Guys,
or I think they
right? You
meant
can't be
like
both.
anti-hero, like an anti-hero, like Stone Cold Steve Austin wasn't. I mean, tweener or the anti-hero, as Stone Cold Steve Austin famously was, didn't mean that one week he beat up Babyface and the very next week he was on Raw acting like a uber
Uber babyface.
Babyface
No,
and
it took
cry
time. It took
because his
time.
childhood home was burnt down. AW switch heel on Babyface like they changed underwear. Blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
I mean, I don't.
So this individual said, "How about they act like real people, 100% good or bad?" Hangman was the babyface at first, but his lust for revenge made him take things too far to the point where his actions can't really be justified. I
Sounds
say
good to me. I mean, pick one. You were either the hero or you're the anti-hero.
real people don't go from being the bad guy and beating up a man in front of his wife and kids to crying about another man burning down his house. That's just some bipolar shit that needs medication. Uh, what he's supposed to do? Laugh about it and enjoy. I'm pretty sure that even the most hardened criminal would be pretty upset if somebody burned down their house down, especially their childhood house, and they have some good memories there. No, this story should have never happened because it doesn't make any sense within the context of Swerve's heel turn. It seems that like the context has changed pretty drastically. Only makes sense his character does. In a way, you could say it's a double turn. And that drove me crazy. God, a double turn doesn't happen within a week. A double turn happens over time, over a few months of the story. See the Bret Hart Steve Austin feud for a properly done double turn. And double turns
Yes.
are usually organic. They're not really forced. Like Steve Austin and Bret Hart again was organic. It wasn't forced.
But it
But
also
they
happened over time. I mean, Brett was the baby face and Austin was the heel. And then you saw
yeah.
their positions slowly change where Brett was more the heelish, I beat up the hero. And Austin slowly started getting cheers from the
I
crowd.
think
And
I got
and they
more.
knew Vince knew when the crowd started cheering for
I
Stone
guess I
Cold Steve
don't.
Austin, that
Yeah.
was when you turned them.
Yeah.
Because they started booing Bret Hart, you know. No offense to Brett or anything.
Yeah, I mean
He knew how to do
they
a double
knew.
turn. Vince knew because Vince had seen it before. I mean, he's done it many times before, but not like at a drop of a hat. You know what I mean? So he did it
Yeah.
over time. He told the story that needed to tell. Listen to the fans. The fans are starting to boo and cheer someone else. You know, they're starting to boo Bret Hart. Now they're starting to
Yeah.
cheer Stone Cold Steve Austin. And Vince listened to the crowd and was like, well, we need a double turn.
Mm-hmm.
That's called working the room. And Vince knew how to do it. I mean, I don't like Vince McMahon, But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he at least knew how to do a double turn correctly by listening to the fans. I mean, they're your tickets, guys. Asses in seats.
Yeah, desperate.
That's your coup de grace. That's how you pay your bills.
All I got was like desperate kind of like, oh yeah, well, this story, it makes sense because of this, and this, and like, no, it doesn't.
No,
Again, I spent most of the time just tearing it apart, like I did there. It was like,
that's why my
but
Twitter
it
blew
doesn't
up.
make
I'm
any
like, what?
sense.
My Twitter blew up. Ah! But no, I agree with you, Angel.
Uh-huh.
Everything you said there was good. It was 100%. I mean, like I said, Vince knew how to work a room because he would listen to the fans. Tony Khan doesn't give a shit. Don't care. You can tell that.
Nope. Yeah, I mean, he does not care at all. It's like as long as he's friends with the wrestlers and they'll say how great he is and they get to hang out with him, that's all he cares about.
Oh, Tony Khan, can I suck your dick? That's all they care. That's all he cares about.
Yeah, it's like $1 million.
But Triple H knows how to also tell a story. If you watch WWE lately, I mean, look at how, Dominic turned, and then what's his name turned on Damian Priest, Finn Balor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Whoo, I got it right. So you had the turning of Dom at SummerSlam. You had the turning of Balor at SummerSlam. See, Triple H knows how to, okay, now the tide is turning. People are starting to cheer Rhea Ripley. They're starting to cheer Damian Priest. Now we have to cut them off and turn them. Turn these two babyface. These guys are staying heels.
Yeah, and it worked because it made sense within the context of the story. I predicted exactly what would happen back at SummerSlam.
Yep.
And so I was like, it's obvious what the play is and what the story is.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, it's like, no. It was like, oh wow, they actually did it. It's like, yeah, of course they did it. But yeah, I mean, what else? Again, you brought up Dominic. Dominic and Hook debuted at the same time for AEW and WWE. Everybody in the internet assumed that Hook would be the bigger star because Dominic at the time was just a clean-cut kid that was hanging out with Daddy all the time. So that's why, nobody really took him seriously. But with now 4 years later, you see that Dominic is way bigger star than Hook even imagined. And Hook is stuck in the same place he was 4 years ago.
And
that mid-card worker,
right?
He's
and I feel bad for Taz.
I
mean, you hate to see your son only get so far and then go right back down that food chain, so to speak. The card, go back down that card and be treated like nothing. It's as a parent, it's hard to see your kid struggle like that. You want them to be that star, just like you were, in ECW.
And he is struggling. Like, again, this feud with Jericho didn't help him. I mean, yeah, he got the belt back. He got his dad's belt back. And, that was a nice moment. But it's not helping him. Jericho doesn't put anybody over.
No.
Like, over. Or even if he wanted to, he really can't anymore. Because he's not over. Everybody wants him to retire.
Everyone's screaming it at all their pay-per-views. Yeah. But did you see on X?
He's not over.
There was this thing where they said, the caption said, Jericho is not on an AEW pay-per-view, and there's everyone cheering, yeah!
Yeah, I know. I just realized it reading it. He's like, oh, Jericho's not booked for this pay-per-view. I mean, it's it's nice to have. I'm sure for the tiny AEW audience, it's nice to not see him, but see, he's gonna be back. Oh. He'll be right back in some sort of feud.
Don't do that to me. I have a weak heart.
Yeah.
No, I know. He can only stay away for so long, but yeah, I agree that Dominic is really making it in WWE. They're doing good things with him. He's with Liv, who I wish they would do better things with her. At least teach her some other moves, because I'm sorry, that's not working.
When I'm not sure you saw Raw, but when she injured Rhea Ripley's leg allegedly,
I did see.
I mean, it was the fakest like kicks you ever seen.
Oh my god! I'm like, stop.
And Rhea was coming out at the end of the show with like a crutches and act like she was hurt, and I was like, That was so phony. What they should have done is grab a chair and have her hit her with a chair 2 or 3 times. That would be more realistic.
More
for her to
realistic,
come
but
out like
I
that.
have a feeling it would be like in my head. I just had a thing of Hogan with the chair. Remember Hogan with the fake chair on the Giant? I'm like, it'd be like that.
Hogan couldn't work with a chair.
I could just see bad stuff with the chair, but give it to Dominic. Dominic could do it. He could, like been beaten on her leg, and I know that's not gentleman-like, but I mean, he's a heel.
And WWE being PG, I think that might be pushing it a little too far to have male on female violence like that on Raw.
I gotcha.
I mean, 20 years ago, during the Attitude Era, we saw it all the time.
Oh yeah, because there was like people like Jackie and people like, Sable wasn't a wrestler, but people like Chyna who wanted to get in there and fight with men. Now it's like, oh no, you can't show that anymore. Why not? If a woman wants to beat up a man, go for it, I say.
That they're afraid that'll drive away sponsors because WWE has more sponsors than they ever did before. So they're afraid it's going to drive away sponsors, and the women's rights group will complain and write them letters. Like the women's rights group, like, how dare you have a man beat up a woman? In Raw. So it's like they don't want to deal with the headache. So it's like, fuck it.
See, I would like to see Rhea Ripley. I would like to see her get revenge on Dominic. Like her and Dominic have a fight, but what do I know? It just, I
don't see that happening. Maybe when they move to Netflix next year, they could push the envelope a little bit more.
I mean, when they put Lucifer on Netflix, they could say fucking shit and everything else.
Yeah. So I'm expecting WWE to push the envelope more when they get to Netflix.
Yes. This is what I want to see.
So, yeah, but let's see what else happened. Oh, CM Punk Drew McIntyre destroying CM Punk on Raw,
and so that was a shocker for me. I was like, again. Wait, I thought they were done.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I mean, I thought they were done. And CM Punk would kind of move on and try to challenge Gunther for the world title.
Well, and here again, here's sorry to cut you off.
No.
So here again, we have the Drew McIntyre saying it'll never be over. And I'm like, okay, bad blood, here we come.
Right. They did a regular one-on-one match. They did a strap match. The next match has to be last man standing or something like that.
Or like a cage match or something. I don't know.
It has to be another gimmick match. I mean, I really don't want to see another one-on-one match between Punk and McIntyre. At least a regular one. Don't be surprised. Yeah, Seth is
still hurt, right?
Yeah, he got taken out by the big guy, Bronson Reed, right?
And he hasn't come back.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot his name. No, so Bronson Reed wasn't on Raw on Monday because he got COVID.
Oh, are you kidding me?
So that was the reason why.
Ah, come on.
Yeah, they kept him off television, and I'm like, I'm not buying that. Most likely, they didn't want him to take the fall in his match he was booked in. Like, like it's working, and he really didn't have COVID, but they didn't want him to take the fall in that match for the tournament for the Intercontinental title. So it was like, let's say he has COVID and give him a week off, and so he doesn't take that fall.
Oh man,
because they didn't want him to lose. So that's most likely what happened. I don't see they're actually still testing for COVID in 24.
Yeah,
it's like testing for the flu, So I
mean, it is a flu.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
which is why I don't see them actually testing for it. I think it was a storyline excuse to keep him off TV.
That's okay. I'll take that. He is a beast, and you don't want to give him a fall yet. They don't want to beat him.
No. Especially, they're most likely going to do Seth Rollins versus Bronson
Reed.
Reed.
Give time for Seth to come back because he might have been doing something else as well.
Yeah, so... And even, let's say, if he won the tournament, he's going to lose to Braun Breaker anyway.
Oh, my gosh,
he just got that belt.
Yep.
So it's like you keep him, if you don't want him taking falls, keep him away from champions and guys like that for now until you build him up more. But yeah, right. And also we had Sami Zayn challenging Gunther for the world title, so he's the next number one contender.
Yeah, see and I think I said this to you on X.
And I saw that coming too.
They were going to elevate him now that they took the IC belt off of him. They were going to elevate him towards Gunther, right?
Yeah, so Gunther needs a baby face that is a bit he's sympathetic. He's an excellent bumper. That's what he needs right now. So here comes Sami Zayn, who's also a veteran, by the way. He's been around for 20 years.
I can't
so
believe
it's like
that.
perfect.
I'm sorry, I'm not a big Sami Zayn fan.
So yeah, I'm not saying he's not gonna get the world title, but he's definitely gonna be there to get Gunther over. That's really his goal right now.
Kind of like Randy Orton, excuse me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in my mom, I in the main event, bringing that up, my mother complained about the finish. Why didn't he beat him? Why didn't he beat him by pinfall? And I'm like, you think Randy Orton's gonna take a pinfall?
Yeah,
come on, Mom.
No, I was listening to Jim Cornette, and he's like, I don't like the submission. I don't like the submission finish.
I did see that, and I'm like, I didn't agree. It's like we damn well know Randy Orton not going to take another pinfall to Gunther.
That's true. Yeah.
No matter what, he's going to protect himself. You know, he's going to protect himself. So he's going to do a job. He's going to do it by sleeper. He's not tapping out either.
Right.
So
he's going
to be put to sleep.
Right. And now he can come back and say, hey, Gunther, you never pinned me. You made me submit, but you never pinned me. So, I mean, there's room for that too. There's room for that story, but
maybe to come back with another match on the
exactly,
line.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking, because I loved the match. It looks like great. Wrestling. They were doing wrestling holds, wrestling moves. They weren't slapping their legs. You know what I mean?
Excuse me. Randy was trained by Jim Cornette, so he has a lot of that old school in him too. So the Randy Ortons, John Cena's, the Batistas, the Brock Lesnar was also trained by Jim Cornette in OVW. So yeah, they have a lot of that old school in them, which is why a lot of their stuff is good. Especially that original OVW class, you know, that came out of, you know, those top guys, and they were all top guys. Jim Cornette was, you know, turned them into top guys. Cena, Orton, Batista, Brock Lesnar, they all became top guys, you know. So he obviously he knows what he's doing when it comes to training wrestlers. So when Jim Cornette tells me something, it's
and he's always trending. Wrestlers. Did you see he was trending like 2 or 3 times?
Oh yeah, I mean he's always trending. That's why I missed it. I see in my timeline. Oh, he's trending again. Okay, I don't even know why.
I didn't even know why, but he had said something about something. I said, "Is this why you're trending, Jim?"
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, John Cena is having his retirement tour. He's coming back next year. Apparently, he's booked for 150 events next year.
Wow.
I mean, it's a lot. He's booked for. Yeah. So he's not just coming back for a few matches. I mean, he's really going to go on a farewell tour, you know, and travel the country and say goodbye.
Well, they definitely aren't going to put the belt on him, and if they do, they'll take it off of him, obviously, when he leaves. But I mean, put more power to him if he wants to spend more time, you know, at home.
What would I do with him in his final year? I mean, obviously, I would like for him to put like the future stars over, whether it be Gunther or Braun Breaker or
Bronson Reed.
I would like to see him put over guys. You know, like it's just gonna. That's what I would like to see him do. I don't want to see him do what Sting did in AEW for 4 years and go 30-0 and not beat any and not get beat and then go home. I mean, you got it. What you have to accomplish with Cena when you have him is have him do jobs. I mean, it's it's unfortunate, but he's at that point where he needs to do jobs.
Well, and Sting just came back.
The younger guys,
like no, Sting, you retired and now you came back. But you didn't retire. I'm sorry, that bugs the crap out of me. I'm like, hello.
No, that bothered me too. It's like, oh wow, it's the 60.
It's red actually.
Indy.
My hair is red actually.
Yeah, Indy.
But thank you.
Yeah,
Indy's daughter.
Your daughter. Yeah. It looks pink. That's why I assume it's pink.
Oh,
too.
It probably does in this light. I'm sorry. I have really bad lighting in this office. Yeah. Unless you're talking about the logo. Then yeah, sure, okay.
That's pink, yeah. But let's see what else happened on Raw.
But thank you, Indy's daughter.
What happened on Raw?
There was
it's 3 hours.
Yeah, so there was a match between Valor and
Oh yeah, the whole Damian Priest Rhea Ripley angle. That match was Jey Uso. Apparently, they're building up Jey Uso's crush on Rhea Ripley. So you might see them get together at some point. So yeah, Jey Uso's like, I'll do anything for Rhea Ripley. So she asked me, "It's like, sure, we can be a team."
Oh, yep.
So they're kind of teasing, that Jey Uso has a crush on Rhea Ripley. So
I see.
So yeah, so eventually, I'm sure they're gonna get together, in storyline at least.
Right.
But
what about Damian Priest?
Yeah,
I guess that leaves him out, huh? Odd man out, huh?
Well, I mean, I assume like Damian Priest might see her more as a sister than in a woman type of way, but that's why they haven't gone together in storyline. But let's see, the Alpha. I mean, Chad Gable's new group. I forget he has like two different groups. He had the Alpha Academy, and now like American Made. It's like okay, but they defeated Alpha Academy. It's like okay. So now that next week they're gonna have an 8-man mixed tag team match between the Wyatts and American Made.
Oh no, the
So
Wyatt
they continue that.
Six.
Yeah, they're continuing that feud. Yeah,
Okay.
the Wyatt Six.
Well, I mean, they've been
So
bugging him for weeks now. The Wyatt Six.
Yeah. So Chad Gable's had enough. We're gonna challenge you to an 8-man tag or whatever. Then the Wyatts came out, accepted the challenge. Blah blah blah. I was like, okay, great. Oh, by the way, next week's Raw is the season premiere, so it's like it's supposed to be a big show.
Well, that's why they're probably having Bret Hart on the show.
Yeah.
I heard Bret Hart,
putting
and
out
I'm
all
like,
the
what? Well, I mean, Vince isn't there, so of course Jesse's gonna come back. Now Bret's gonna come back. Joe, come back. Joe Hennig, you can hear me. I know you can hear me. Joe Hennig, come back. Talk to Triple H.
So, that's it.
I know Joe's watching.
Gunther,
no, I'm kidding.
Oh, it's sad. They haven't. Braun Breaker barely appeared on Raw last 2 or 3 weeks. He's more been like in the periphery while this tournament's happening.
that infuriates me because again, he's the IC champion. He's a beast.
Yeah.
Give him some job, guys. That's what they did with Kurt when he first won the IC belt. They gave him some job guys on Superstars and then on Wrestling Challenge, and
I think they could find some other ways to get him on the show, even if he's not wrestling. Maybe have him on commentary during this tournament.
Absolutely.
Matches.
I mean,
he's kind of just.
It's a tournament for a tournament. It's a tournament for his number one contender for his belt. So he should be a part of it.
Yeah, I agree. Instead, he's more like in the periphery, kind of backstage. Oh, they had him and Jey Uso did a segment, kind of teasing an Intercontinental title match eventually, which tells me Jey Uso's trying to win this tournament.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason for them to have that segment unless they're teasing a match. So I'm assuming that Jey Uso will win this tournament.
Absolutely.
He's in the final. He's in the final next week in a fatal 4-way. It's him, Ilya Dragunov, Braun Strowman, and some other dude. I forget right now, but it's a 4-way match.
So Bronson Reed is out. Did he?
Yeah,
lose?
because he had COVID. Oh. No, he just never should. They never put him on the show because he had COVID, which is why I decided to buy it because that means. Then. Yeah, he's out because he had COVID.
Come on.
It's like I didn't buy that. I'm like, they didn't want him to take the fall because he probably had taken the fall while he wasn't going to advance. So it was like they just said, he has COVID, so he's not. But we're going to take him out of the tournament.
Oh, that's rotten.
Why
build him up though?
I wouldn't even put him. I wouldn't put him in the tournament. Okay. I would just have him beat up people on the roster. I wouldn't put him in either because you're
building him up to be this beast of a guy who's unbeatable.
I would have he would have just beat up people on the roster, not necessarily job
oh my gosh.
Guys like
he's beating up everybody. Guys like even Seth Rollins.
Guys like The Miz or R-Truth or Kofi Kingston. Have him beat up guys like that. I mean, you don't put him in this tournament just to remove him because he had COVID. So again, I don't buy this COVID diagnosis. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he did have COVID, but I don't know. I'm just not buying it.
I don't know.
Let's see. We got 10 minutes before 9, so we're kind of stalling here. But I haven't watched SmackDown yet, so I don't
saw
really
clips, and
know.
of course, in my little theme song, I have clips of. So basically, this is what happened. Cody was out and teasing the bloodline, and
Yeah.
tease, and then who comes out? Roman Reigns. Oh, Roman Reigns is back. Woohoo! And then I guess they had a match. I only saw like a few seconds of it because I was like, well, I can only put like this
I
much of it in the theme song.
I don't think they had a match. If Roman's gonna have a match, it's gonna be on pay-per-view where you gotta pay for
Well,
it.
he had to get back at the bloodline because they're the ones who took
Yeah,
him
so they
out.
got into a fight,
Yeah.
obviously. They got into a
Yeah.
fight, but
A big fight.
it wasn't like it wasn't like, so it wasn't like they were actually,
But I think they're gonna go
have
back
a match.
to the Sokoa thing. I think they're gonna go back to the
Yeah.
Sokoa thing. So it's
Did you
Sokoa
see-
versus not Randy Orton. Why am I thinking Randy Orton? Sokoa and Cody. Thank you. And I think it's gonna be that literally Cody is gonna have Roman Reigns in his corner. Or maybe even The Rock might come back. You don't know. You don't know. It's up in the air.
Yeah, so I've heard, like, I've been reading online that Rocky's gonna make his return soon to television. So he's, whatever project he's had is done pretty much. And I'm like, what are they gonna do? Unless they have a match planned because I'm guessing there's gonna be a Bloodline Civil War at Survivor Series. If they do War Games again, that's definitely gonna happen at Survivor Series. But it'll be the Bloodline versus the OG Bloodline, which is Roman Reigns' crew, So that's probably
it's going to be
what
a
they're
civil
building
war,
towards.
basically. What you were saying a couple weeks ago.
It's probably gonna. I don't know whether Rock's gonna be involved in that or not. I'm pretty sure he would be. There's no reason why he wouldn't be, and especially if he's still going to be a heel, which I don't know.
I mean, he kind of has to be because it's kind of like he won the match the night one, and then Roman lost night two, so it kind of makes The Rock look bad. I guess that's what they're going to go for. That it makes The Rock look bad.
He can very easily say, "Look, you lost against Cody. Right. Now it's my turn to face Cody at WrestleMania." Right. So that sets up that match, for main event.
Or it could be, no, you have to get through me to get to Cody. Roman Reigns.
And that means that The Rock has to pin Roman Reigns, which I'm not too much of a fan of. But,
well, I know, but I mean, it could be a storyline that is to come. You never know.
So, right, I'm sure that. Look, but if Cody makes it to Mania, that's a year-long title run.
Absolutely.
Which, that's a respectable run. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't be surprised if Rocky wants to win that match and become WWE champion again. And I don't know what Triple H is going to do because Rocky's on the board. So I'm sure that he can go to Ari Emanuel, the CEO, like, I want this championship.
Yeah, but Rock, I mean, you're not getting any younger. Okay. You've had your day where you were the champion several times back in the 90s. I know, I was there. I watched it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just think that really, this is my opinion. I think The Rock should just come back to put people over. But he's going to come back. He's going to want the belt. He's going to want to be champion, and then he'll drop the belt to someone when he has to go back to Hollywood,
And Cody needs his win back because The Rock pinned him last year at WrestleMania, or this year at WrestleMania, rather. I'm thinking it's last year already. So he needs his win back. Right. So Rocky has to be smart enough to say, okay, I got to put him over. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even if there's like, you give Rocky an out, I don't know, have Roman interfere or have a distraction. If you give him an out, that's fine.
Absolutely.
It's like, well, I would have won, but distraction.
Yeah.
Roman's fault.
Roman Reigns did it. I agree, but I think you're right. I think that he's going to come back. He's not going to put anybody over, and it's always going to be The Rock show. You know what I mean? Because I'm The Rock. I'm on the board. I say what goes.
Yeah. And he almost ruined WrestleMania this year. We know the story where he came back and he tried to make Cody look like a bitch when he came back and took his spot. Yep. That was awful. And then like his little buddy Brian Gorwitz, who's his writer, talks about, oh well, Cody's supposed to be happy and smile and be the little brother, like. He's supposed to cheer Rocky, and he didn't do that, and it ruined the story. I'm like, no, dude, your boy The Rock ruined the story, nearly ruined the story.
Why does Cody have to be The Rock's little brother? I mean, that would
I don't
just
know.
be
It's like
pushing
his little
Cody back
friend,
down
little
the
brother.
card.
Exactly. They would have. And Cody said in an interview, if you know what the plan for WrestleMania was for me, the fans would have hated it. And I'm sure he would have.
Yeah,
because
sure
Cody wasn't going to. Cody wasn't. It wasn't even going to go for Seth Rollins in the world title, I guess. So what are you going to do with him? Because if he says the fans would have really hated it, then
we probably would have.
What are you going to do?
No, I believe him.
Who's going to work with?
There's no one else that could have. I mean, you finish the story. You don't do what The Rock wants to do because The Rock wants to do what he wants to do. Or, he's a little bitch boy and say, oh, it was all my idea to make Cody finish the story,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay, Rock,
if you saw that WrestleMania... If you saw that WrestleMania documentary, which, by the way, took 4 months for it to come out because it's supposed to come out right after WrestleMania, but it didn't come out until August. There's a reason for that. I think, Rock, they were trying to edit it to make The Rock look good.
Of course. Always make
Instead
The Rock
looking
look
like
good.
a fucking... Looking like an asshole, like stole Cody's spot, So they kind of reshot it and re-edited it where Rocky looked like the this genius who changed the match after he nearly screwed Cody out of his And then there's memes of people like with The Rock's photo, like, oh, because of I wanted this to happen and wanted that to happen, and I wanted change, it was my idea, taking credit for everything, everything that's good in the world. I'm sure you've seen those memes of Rocky photos.
Yes.
Doing
and they make me cringe every time. I'm just like, I mean, talk about, fame going to your head or the hype or whatever, all the bullshit and power goes to your head. The Rock is that. I mean, look what happened with him and Lahaina and Oprah. Talk about power going to your head.
Everybody start migrating to Rumble and Kick and not wherever we are, not YouTube, because I'm going to be wrapping up soon on YouTube.
Yep.
And Alex should be on in a couple minutes. So, but yeah, I mean, just start migrating to YouTube, Kick, Twitch, whatever, wherever the platforms we're live.
Wherever we can have free speech.
Wherever you prefer. Yeah, wherever you prefer. So we'll be off here YouTube in a couple minutes, but yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, and when I always preferred Austin, and I mean, The Rock was fantastic. I mean, very few men have charisma the way he does. I mean, it's like, it came so natural to him.
I'll give him that. He was third generation, and he had that charisma like his dad, and his grandfather was feared. I mean, people were actually scared of his father. I mean, his grandfather, excuse me. Not so much his father. His father was he was a tough dude, but not a bad dude, but a tough dude. Peter Maivia. He was people thought he was a cannibal in real life. I mean, seriously.
Well, yeah, he put himself over that way. But yeah, that's why they when Rocky debuted at Madison Square Garden in '96, Vince called him Rocky Maivia for his father and grandfather, in reference.
Right.
And it was terrible. He looked like a nerd, coming out with all those stripes.
He's so
and stuff. It was awful.
I'm like, who is that?
And I remember
that's The Rock. I'm like, that's The Rock.
In Undertaker's podcast, he was like, "Oh God, I mean, that kid's done. He's dead. I mean, look at him. He looks ridiculous." and at the Garden, they booed him out of the building. I mean, it's the Garden.
Speaking of which, are you going to show that video clip that you showed me about Maven and the Undertaker? Speaking of Undertaker, that would be awesome if you do. Oh my God, he ribbed him. Oh my God.
So yeah, let's start wrapping up on YouTube. Let's switch to other platforms, wherever.
If we don't see you over on Rumble, have a great weekend, YouTube. We'll see you next week.
Yeah. So just bear with me 1 second. End stream. I have to go over to the